Putting women on a pedestal is going to be the detriment of a man's journey when it comes to his masculinity and his purpose. And the reason I say this because you ever notice that most of the time when you put a woman first in your purpose, you give her everything that you seek out to accomplish in life is to make sure that she is happy, she's satisfied, she's fulfilled in a sense, right? But little do men know that putting a woman on a pedestal will lead to her losing respect for you, losing attraction for you, as well as losing your marriage or relationship with her. And we've seen this multiple times in life. One of the biggest examples of this is the Aisha Curry situation, where she is someone that is legit a winner of the jackpot of the lottery. And Steph Curry, who's a future Hall of Famer, man of God, successful basketball player, and are in the greatest 3-point shooter in the history of the game. And she is completely disrespecting his legacy, disrespecting his work ethic and him as a father, um his overall mission as a man. She's completely just not giving him the fruits of his labor, right? And I want to compare his situation to the situation that me and Rob were talking about the other day about the Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith situation as well, where Aisha Curry is giving me that reflection that I used to see when I saw the Jada Pinkett situation, where she doesn't really respect Will Smith. Um, and Will Smith is the A-list actor, box office blockbuster, I Am Legend, Men in Black, Ali, Pursuit of Happiness, but yet his career, his legacy is forever tarnished, not because only because of the Chris Rock situation, but that is connection with his wife. And then I look at good examples of marriages that have worked in you know, the film industry or celebrity industry. Barack Obama, Michelle Obama is one where I feel like that's going to lead down a path of divorce anyway, but they've maintained their relationship for the most part. But the best example of a marriage that I feel has lasted, that is a reflection of what the quote unquote dream couple is Denzel and his wife Pauletta. And the reason why I respect their relationship, because Pauletta, you don't know anything about her. Denzel doesn't put her on the limelight. He doesn't give her any attention. He doesn't need to put her on a certain pedestal. She respects her husband, and she seems like someone that was with him before his fame in the movie industry. And I noticed that a lot of these celebrities want to wife up these women who are independent, um, promiscuous, and lack respect and submissiveness to their man. And those men end up being the ones that suffer the most. Look at an example of Kanye West. Kanye West is one of my favorite artists of all time. No disrespect to him, but he married, a 304, a woman who's known for her promiscuity in the industry. Wifed her up, had a couple kids with her, and look at her kid now with Northwest looking all crazy, horrible parenting, and she was someone that lost respect for him because I think she became a billionaire before he did, and she did not follow his lead. She did not trust him, and but Kanye loved her, gave her this special performance when he gave her the engagement when he proposed to her. This over the top thing, leading with money, things that are not um things that are surface level, things that are not that things are that are materialistic and doesn't have any substantial weight and value. I'm telling you right now, if I ever get married, I'm not gonna get on a knee. I'm just gonna say, "Hey, we're gonna get married," because I think when you put a woman on a pedestal, she loses respect, and most women, like there's women that want this special treatment. They think that they have this thing about them where they're special when most women are not special. But in actuality, most of them are the same. And women don't respect a man that um, puts them in a special category and gives them special treatment when they themselves know they're not anything special. And I give you an example of this. There was a woman I loved. I wanted to be with her more than anything in this world, and everything I did, from my purpose, my mission, my finances, my location, everything was going to be for her. And she didn't like that. And if I would have just led with my purpose and left things as it was and let her come to me naturally, she probably would have been with me. But the fact that everything was like this pressure, it was too much for her. It was a pressure that I put on her, and it was unfair to her. It was overwhelming. And when you overwhelm a woman with so much love and affection and intimacy and all this stuff, it's gonna leave with nothing. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of time at the end of the day. And when you lead with those things, it leaves all the respect out the door. If you're a man watching this, you have to make sure your purpose comes first, your mission comes first. You are the prize, not her. And a lot of women know they ain't anything because they want to put men in a pedestal, like we are the ones that are always cheating. Women cheat just as much as men, if not more, because of all the attention, all the DMs that they receive on the daily. And I just think that it's important for men to understand their value and their worth, because when you do it, how people like Kanye and Steph Curry have done. Look at Tom Brady, and this is the Tom Brady. I'm reading right now the Rational Male, and I read a little bit of Myron Gaines' book as well. And in his book, he talks about the Tom Brady effect, how Tom Brady was gonna retire for his wife and for his family, and then he decided to unretire, and that's what made Giselle ended up leaving him, because he put her and his family before his purpose and his mission. And I understand family is important, but the difference between men and women is men will sacrifice their happiness for their family, but women will sacrifice their happiness. No, sorry, the woman will sacrifice her family for her happiness. Unfortunately, that's the unfortunate fact. And that's why a lot of divorces. There's a lot of people who break up relationships. Marriages are falling apart, and 70 to 80% of the divorces are initiated by women. And I speak about this now because a lot of men just don't know how to be men anymore. They truly just want to do everything in their power to please their woman. They'll do everything for them and still get cheated on, and still get disrespected, and still get closed off for sex. It's important for a man to maintain his frame and not let a woman lead him. And this is why it's important for a man to make as much money as possible, so that way he's taking care of her, and so that she could be in her feminine. Because most women don't know how to work. Let's keep it all the way 1,000. And the women who say that they like the make their own money, they only say that because they were forced to be independent, not because that's what they desire. They'll put on a mask and a facade saying that they want to be independent, when in actuality that's not what they want. And another thing, I think, why these relationships don't end, because there's no boundaries set afoot. Kanye West, as much as I love Kanye, he didn't put boundaries on Kim. He treated her like an equal. And that is the biggest mistake you could do as a man, is to treat a woman as an equal, because your roles are not the same. If men and women were equals, then we would go 50-50 on every date. But that is not the case. Why is that? Because a man and a woman have specific roles, and they complement each other. It is a man's role to provide, Give security, be the provider, give the sense of security, be the leader. And it is a woman's job to be submissive and be his peace and to bear his children. You could talk about cooking and cleaning. That's just a added bonus if she even wants to do that at this point, because most women don't even want to do that anymore. It takes a special woman, for sure, to be nurturing, to be loving, to want to be a man's peace. Peace and his and loyalty are the two most important things that men desire. A man does not care about a woman's career. He does not. The only men that care about a woman's career are people who are brokies and who are poor, because that way they could go 50-50 with the house bills. But for the most part, men don't care because at the end of the day, and also another fact is that if even if the man goes 50-50 with the woman and she says, "Oh, I want to go 50," it's fine. For how long though? It's not going to last long. And those relationships end up with a separation anyway because she thinks that she could find someone better. Because she's a woman, she has a multitude of options. A woman could go walk across the street and a man's going to give her attention and approach her. And yeah, it's something that I noticed, and that's why it's again, you have to continue to be the breadwinner, so that way, because I don't believe in this thing where a woman, I just bring me, a woman just has to bring herself down. No, 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 that's not how this works. At the end of the day, a relationship is a value exchange. And I had an argument with someone the other day. It wasn't really an argument; it was just more of a little light debate. And I asked her like, "So, in the relationship, what do you bring?" And she was like, "The fact that you even had to ask that question is crazy." And I asked her like 5 times, and she couldn't answer the question. And then she changed her stance. It was like, "A woman doesn't need to bring anything to the table." I'm like, "Really? I wonder you're single at 37." That makes sense. It makes sense. Any woman that believes that she doesn't need to bring anything to the table is going to be single forever. Those are the women that are I don't need no man to take care of me. Men ain't shit. Men, you know, are insecure. Men aren't leaders. I'm in my independence. I'm boss babe. I can do whatever I want. No man's going to tell me what to do. And those are the red flags that I see. And those are the women that a lot of men chase for no reason. Little do they know that that is a headache and a migraine setting a foot in the ocean. An ocean that's going to be filled with so much emptiness in the long run that you are just going to be draining yourself and you're going to feel empty. There's been a couple women I've met in my life that have been complimentary to me. Unfortunately, those women had kids. So they learned it after the fact when it was already too late. And it's hard to meet a woman that's single that actually still has some value into her life, that wants to create a family and whatnot. But I learned when you put women on a pedestal, when you put her as special and give her everything, give her the poems, everything, it's going to be empty to her. Because one thing I noticed about women is that you could give her everything, but the next day she'll forget all about it. It's temporary. It's because women lead with their happiness and their feelings, but feelings fade. And when feelings fade, nothing is substantial. Nothing sticks. But if your woman gives you a gift, you're gonna appreciate that forever. This is the difference between men and women, truly. And Aisha Curry is someone that I know for a fact she probably gets all this attention, all of all the money, the cars, the purses, the lifestyle, the books, everything, and she still feels empty. Why? And I give that example because there's a lot of women that want that. And I was having a conversation with someone the other day, and I asked them, "Do you think even if you gave a woman everything, you mean and if a woman finds the right man that has the 1%, he makes money, he makes over 100K, or a million, whatever you want, right? Tall, 6 feet, has all the money, wants to give you a ring, um, it still won't be enough, and that's sad. There are billionaires that are still struggling with women that have no social cues. They are awkward. They don't know how to comprehend relationships with people. I don't want to be Elon Musk. I don't desire to be in that field, or Bezos, or um, or whoever, any of these. But I don't want to be that because they're miserable, and they don't have a um like sub level understanding of what a strong foundation of a family is because they never experienced it in their life. Say what you want about Donald Trump, but he is a better father than most of these celebrities and most of these people like Kanye and Will Smith and all of them. Say what you want about Donald Trump. He's a billionaire, and he was grew up with fortune and money, but his family is for the most part normal. They were well spoken, well respected. They don't do anything to make him look bad. Better father than Joe Biden ever could. That's for a damn fact. And those and things like that are based off of the the nuclear family. The nuclear family is the backbone of this organization of America. And we live in a society with lack of a father, single moms, toxic relationships, people who want to impregnate multiple women, baby daddy drama, and sugar daddies and OnlyFans, and it's chaotic. And I do this video because I want to give a little bit of structure in the world. Because right now, no matter how you want to frame it, men are lost and they don't understand how to set boundaries. They don't know how to be men anymore and leave if case of and men are afraid to say no to a woman too. Who are you to be afraid of a woman? How? Why? I don't live my life in fear. There are some women I'm attracted to. Sure, I want to get a chance to date them or whatever, but I'm not gonna let no woman compromise my beliefs. And there's a lot of men out there, and shout out to y'all because when a woman asks me, "Who did you vote for?" I should have told her I voted for Donald Trump. But most of y'all are too scared to even say that because you are afraid of how she's going to react. Because you know damn well who you voted for. And even in her mindset, in her mind, in the back of her mind, if you say you voted for Kamala, you're going to be looked as weak. But if you say that you voted for Trump, you're going to look like as a misogynist or a sexist or whatever people want to call you, because you led with common sense. But you shouldn't feel that negative frame to be judged. Because who is she to judge you? Who is she to judge you when you're a man on your mission? When you're the leader, if she don't want to follow you, she could go to the streets and try to continue to find a man that's worthy, that's gonna take her woke liberal ideology. That is not on you to burden her closed mindedness. I will never let a woman compromise my beliefs. Ever. Because I know who I am. I know what I believe, I know what I offer, but most of you do not. And you do this thing where, and I want to do another video connecting with this too. But look at the example of Will Smith. Will Smith is a person that has a lot of childhood trauma and he seeks validation from people. Do you ever notice that about Will Smith? Everything he does, he loves being noticed by people. He loves getting the attention. He loves to be in the spotlight. But by that, he does everything in his power to please everyone, including his trash wife, who doesn't even love him, who still has feelings for Tupac. But if Will Smith stood on his ground and decided to just say, you know what, I don't even care. You're disrespecting me for the last time. You could get the hell out of my house. Set standards. Place boundaries. Do not tolerate disrespect because she will use it as and do it again and again. It will become a cycle. If you the first time you see disrespect, acknowledge it. Don't let it play out any longer. This is the time we live in. where women are disrespecting men in front of their whole families and whatnot, beating up men. Men have become so weak, and it's sad. Find your purpose and don't put women on a pedestal because you are the leader. Your mission in life is bigger than you possibly could ever imagine. Women just leave with their feelings. Do you guys have an idea how many women I've tried to collaborate and create like a podcast together with them on this channel? But most of them are like, "Oh, this is too much. I can't handle it. This is a lot of work." Before I even started recording, I'm too camera shy. I'm too anxious. Don't get me wrong, some men too, but most of the time women give up so easily. So you can't let a woman say, "Oh, this is another thing I want to bring up too." You can't let a woman define your life. But I noticed too, those same women, right? Those same women that want that 1% man don't understand the consequences of being with that 1% man because most of the time that 1% man is going to be busy all the time, working, networking, traveling, making sure that he gets his money right, making sure his finances is correct, make sure the house bills are correct, make sure his business is running well. You think that takes like what, like 1 hour of the day? He got to be on it all the time. And it's those same women that want the, please, you're not spending enough time with me. I need the attention. I want us to go on another date together. All this crap. Woman, do you think that what do you expect? If you want to be a brokey that has time for you, then you should have dated someone that's not a millionaire. You think Elon Musk just lives his life on vacation every single day? It's the reality that women don't understand this comprehension that in order for you to be in that 1%, you got to work hard and you got to sacrifice your time. And if you want to be with him, sacrifices are going to be made. He's not going to always want to be there with you. And you know what's the crazy part? You will stay with him because you know for a fact that if you try to find another guy that's in the 1%, the chances of you finding another guy that's going to take care of you, love you, is going to be like finding a needle in a haystack. It's going to be nearly impossible. And women think that because they have multiple options, that dictates that I got multiple potentials. That's not the case. That is not the case. Do you think every guy that is in your DM wants to marry you? Genuinely? When you have nothing to offer? I hate to make it sound that way, but that's the truth. Not to say this is all women. I'm just saying that there's some women that are realistic and they lower their standards and rather be with a man that's gonna love them for them and have a woman that's gonna be loyal to him and be on his journey from the end of the race, the end mark. Most women want to be in the end mark and just stay with the guy from there, but they aren't with him throughout the entire journey of what got him to that point. And that is why I stay single because not a lot of women want to be in that position, and which understandably so. Women are naturally hypergamous. Hypergamy is a very real thing, and that is the reality of where we live in right now. Have I met some women that are not? Yes, of course. But those women, most of the time, are like that because they were already in previous relationships like that, and it's already too late for them. They already have kids. They lost their value. They can't have any more kids if they want to anyway. And I'm not trying to be no guy that's in a relationship with someone that has kids. Personally, I'm 30 years old and I'm thinking that, oh my God, like my parents got married at 19 or 18. I'm way behind. I could start a family anytime I want to. That is a simple fact. I'm blessed that I have that understanding. Women are in a time mark. 35 is their like from 20 to 35 as a woman's, you know. I mean her peak is in her 20s obviously, but even regardless, men don't have that time frame. So don't put pressure on yourself like that. Stay focused. Don't be afraid to say no to her. And if she says, I want to go to this restaurant, say no, we're going to go here. There's things that you need to do as a man to test her to see if she's willing to follow your lead. And when I go on a date with women, I say, if I say I'm going, if say There's left and right. If I say we're gonna go right, what are you gonna do? If she says, "Well, what does right mean? What made you feel like you have to go right?" If she answers a question where she's questioning your leadership, she is someone that is not for you, brother. That is a fact. Only be with a woman that says, "Okay, yes, daddy, I'll follow your lead. Yes, wherever you go, I follow you. You're the leader. I respect you. I'm just here to be support along the way." That is a woman that is loyal, that's willing to, and mind you, not and women, not all men are worthy to be led. I understand that. I completely understand that. But loyalty is loyalty, and that paranoia of not understanding, oh my God, is he someone that's gonna be potentially a good partner for me? All of that aside is gonna like lead you to be still single by 40 years old. There has to be a level of trust, but there's a balance. A man, and it's funny. There's a lot of women that say, "I'm not gonna let a man lead unless he proves to me that he's worthy of being a leader." Or no, when a woman says, uh, "I'm not gonna be in my feminine until he shows me he's gonna be a leader or whatever." That's like saying, "I'm only gonna be a leader when you show me you're gonna be in your feminine." It should just come naturally. Like, why would I wait to be masculine until you show your cards? That doesn't make any sense. You should just come in, be masculine, and you be feminine. I don't need no independent boss girl that's gonna talk back to me and debate me. I don't need that. And if I don't want to deal with that, what do you think the guy that makes more money than me is going to deal with that? You think he's going to deal with that from you? Good luck. It's important to you gotta be submissive. You gotta get off. Don't lead with your career. It's crazy to me how many times I meet women and I say, "What do you bring?" So I have a degree, as if that's going to be useful. I have a career, as if that's going to be useful to me. I have money. I have my own car. I have my own place, as if that's useful to any of us. What does that? Women want to act like men so badly sometimes, and it's so sad. Do you think what does that value like? What do you think that's gonna give a man by you giving him that information at all? Nothing. So sorry, I went a little bit off track, but yes, don't put women on pedestals. Lead with your purpose, and everything will be okay.